Nancy Cordes has been tracking all of this for us all day on Capitol Hill. Nancy?
Scott, this deal was worked out by about a dozen Senate Republicans, and it could be a turning point because the sweeping immigration reform bill that's been up for consideration will not become law without more Republican support.
The compromise worked out by Senate Republicans spares no expense to fortify the southern border. It would double the number of Border Patrol agents from 20,000 to nearly 40,000. It would fund the completion of 700 miles of border fencing. And it would blanket the border with infrared ground sensors, thermal imaging cameras, and drones. Tennessee Republican Bob Corker led the negotiations.
I don't know how anybody could argue that the reason they're not supporting this legislation is because we haven't addressed securing the border. We have addressed that. We've addressed that in spades in this legislation.
Nevada's Dean Heller was among the converted.
Needless to say, I was one of the skeptical senators, Republican senators, that this amendment, the work from these two guys, brought me into this process.
The $30 billion plan would establish a system at airports and seaports to identify visitors who have overstayed their visas. All of this would have to be installed and operational before the nation's 11 million illegal immigrants would be allowed to gain citizenship. But they would be able to gain temporary legal status in the meantime. A must for Democrats, but a deal breaker for some conservatives, like Louisiana's David Vitter.
It is an immediate amnesty, an immediate legalization, and then this attempt at enforcement after that. We need to fundamentally reverse that order.
The plan is still being finalized and should get a vote next week. The hope here is that a big bipartisan victory in the Senate will help to win over skeptical Republicans in the House who favor a piecemeal approach to immigration reform that does not include, Scott, any pathway to citizenship.
Nancy, thank you very much.